Good evening, everyone. How's it going tonight? It's Tuesday night. We got a special show today, and we are going to be talking with Heather Allen with Comics and More NJ and about the new group, Comics and More NJ Chaos. So, Comic Unity Con ended tonight. So, if you didn't get in on it, you missed it. I'm sorry. It was a heck of a time. We had a lot of fun stuff. We had Toddler Fight Club. We had several people got tased. That was pretty interesting. So we had to drag a couple bodies off of the con floor. I mean, it happens. People get out of hand. It was fun though. I got to ride a Segway, and they gave me a cattle prod so I could take them out. But without further ado, let's bring out Heather. I was stalling for a minute here.
Hi. How
Hello.
are you?
How are you tonight?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Still trying to share this out. You know how they.
Yes.
We were talking about that. Facebook changed everything around. So I think I got them all. If not, oh well.
I shared out to Chaos and to Madness and the page and my personal page.
Cool. Sounds good. So Comics and More NJ Chaos. What is it all about? It just kind of popped up. Like there was no word or nothing. All of a sudden it's just like boom. And there's already almost 400 people. It may have surpassed 400 people now in like a week.
It was under about 350, between 350 and 400 last time I looked. I launched it a week ago Sunday. It's being created as a resource for the comic world, arts, any of the creative teams that go into and people that love it. There's places to share your social media, to share any of your links, your store links, other comic group links, kind of promote each other and promote yourselves for free without, having to worry about a lot of the rules. Pretty much just basic rules. No nudity because, Facebook doesn't like nudity. No politics,
yeah, you don't have to worry about enforcing
no
that rule. Facebook will take care of it for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, in special cases, you get people like Josh, who pokes the mouse, and he gets Facebook banned for a few days.
Yeah, I've had bans before. They're not fun.
Good evening, Lewis. Thanks for joining. I'm so glad to hear that Tripod Kitty Yuri.
Oh yeah,
I believe is how you you termed it. Tripod Kitty Yuri. I'm glad to hear that he's doing okay. I can't wait for him to get to come home with you. It's great news.
Absolutely. We've been following your progress, taking care of the baby.
That's right.
Hey, Giovanni.
How's it going, Giovanni? So that's awesome. I mean, and that's kind of what we do. I do with my show, and I try to get people on and help, promote Kickstarters because there's a lot of awesome projects, a lot of cool stuff out there that, like Belial. I had never heard of it. Like I knew Chuck, for months before Belial got brought up, and I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me about you had a comic book before now? He's like, well, I don't know. I figured you heard about it. And I was like, no, I haven't heard about it. I was like, what's this all about? I'm like, I want a copy. How much is it? Just, I'll pay you and send me one, So, that's what we need. We need more resources and more pages that, allow flexibility. There's a lot of pages out there that try to nitpick with rules and stuff. So I like hearing that, you're planning on using the group as, the basic nonsense, no nudity and no being a jerk.
Yeah, be respectful, help each other, promote each other. In the announcements, there are threads for October, November, and December projects to add any projects you have coming out, Kickstarters, Indiegogos, whatever you're doing. If you have something coming up, post them in that. If it's covering from October to November, post in both. Because what will happen on November 1st, I will just unpin the October one. It'll stay in the group, but it won't be pinned up anymore, and I'll add another month. So there'll always be 3 months going at a time. And I'm always open to suggestions. If you're looking for, if you have questions, if you need information, use the resource that's there. I've been inviting a lot of people. A lot of people have been finding us or being invited by other people. It's grown pretty fast in a week and a half.
Yeah, it has. like I got invited into it, and I think when I joined there was like 10 people, and I just got on there yesterday. I was like, holy crap, there's 350 something
Yeah,
people. So yeah, it
it's
didn't take
growing
long
pretty
at
well.
all.
No, I come from a small business background, a family business, so I'm familiar with how to run the social media and all the back end. The videos, the live videos, these are new. I'm not as comfortable with these, but
Well, hey, that's
doing
what we're
everything
doing.
in
We're
back end is
breaking
good.
the ice for you. You've
Yeah,
already
I'm
done a
getting
few
used to it.
live videos
I have.
with Comic Chaos. Getting on Sunday nights and kind of saying, "Hey, come in, say hi, drop your links, and let's talk about projects or whatever." So,
Yeah, I've been
hey,
dumbing
Jack.
on Sunday nights for a few. Hey, Jack. Sunday nights just for a few minutes. It kind of gets me used to going live and touch base with everybody. And, just a reminder, drop your links, share your links. If I'm missing something, reach out. If you've got a project you really need a little help with a push, reach out to me. I'll share it where I can, including on my wall. Pretty much my wall consists of memes and art and comics, and every once in a while there's a family photo in there if you're a contact. But I've definitely loved the way my Facebook feed has changed over the last few months now that I'm more involved with the comics and the art. My feed is almost all art and comics with some jokes mixed in. So it's kind of nice.
And so, is the jewelry aspect going to be part of Chaos? Like, or is you going to keep that pretty much on the Comics New Jersey page, or are you going to incorporate that into the Chaos page somehow?
I haven't shared. We have the Etsy for what I did was last Christmas, actually, I was decided to take damaged comics and magazines and turn it into buttons and necklaces and keychains. And we kept buying these boxes of comics, and some of them, they're blind box. You don't know what you're going to get. And some of them were really damaged and some were great. So it was painful throwing out, like it's missing a cover, but there was still a lot of gorgeous art in there. So I saved what I could, and I showed our local comic book store, Level Up Entertainment. And it's in the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing, New Jersey. And I was showing the owner, I said, I'm making these for some friends for Christmas. Do you want something? They're amazing people. They're good to all the local artists. They help us a lot with the local community. And he's like, I'm going to have a free table in my store in 2 weeks before Christmas. It was like going to be days before Christmas. And he's like, do you want a table? I was like, I have to make inventory. So I spent 2 weeks straight making inventory to sell for his table. And it's pretty cool. He did that a lot. Always had tables and crafters and artists come in and just set up a table in his store, no charge. He just wanted to give back, and it's pretty awesome. So that's where that came from. I will have more listed. We do have an Etsy shop, and we have some on the Macari page on our store. But I haven't had a chance to get through and make sure all the Etsy links are up. So I'm working on revamping a lot of that. But I haven't made more, but I have so much. I have some stuff here. I mean, like, I don't know if you could see. An old Joker.
Okay, so that's kind of like is that a keychain or a pendant?
It's a keychain. Let me see, where's the camera? There we go. It's just a keychain. And then, let's see, a pin.
Yeah, Josh, that's all on you, buddy. Sorry, man.
What is it? What did he ask?
He said, hey, what the heck? Did you just leave me to clean up the convention on my own?
Yep. So I've got those. I also started doing dog tags for damaged, out of the damaged items, double-sided dog tags. They came out pretty cool. I've got a labyrinth.
Oh,
and it's double-sided.
That's awesome.
So out of anything that I can find that's got pictures, instead of recycling it and throwing it out, I've been trying to make something with it. I've also worked with a few artists, and they have sent in their pictures, their logos, something, and I've made it for them directly. So that's also something I will do wholesale for anybody who's looking to sell, or all sorts of projects in my spare time.
So sorry, I'm just going to kind of elaborate. So what you're saying is, so like if I had a book that, you know, was missing a cover and I didn't want to just like toss it out, I could send it to you and have you make stuff for me to sell. So like basically you would charge them for making the pieces to the way they could sell them in their shop, or, you know, whatever, if they had a store.
Yes. Or like if an artist has a specific image, like their cover of one of their books, and they want that made into a keychain or a dog tag, I can do that too. I don't print anything. That's how Russell then needs to put pants on. You know, Jack, do you have pants on? I'm just going to ask. Who says I'm wearing pants? I mean, we can go there.
And then we got Lewis in the comments. He said, she sent me some dog tags with Ace and Starlet. They came out badass.
Thank you, Lewis. I'm glad you like them.
So that's awesome. You know, so that might be an idea. You know, we may have to talk about, you know, doing some Xenonanite Titan dog tags or something. Send you some printed art or something, and have you make some of those up. That would be, you know, a cool idea. So I definitely might think about that in the future.
Absolutely. You can send me the images you want to try. I normally charge $4 for a prototype. It just covers the shipping. It gives you an idea of what it can look like. And then you can decide whether you want to order a bunch or if you want to sell them and then order them in bulk. What does he say? Chase everybody with a taser. I'm a lady. I wear dresses.
If you're always wearing pants, I don't know that I can trust you. Like, who wears pants to bed? I mean, come on, man.
Or in the shower.
Yeah, or in the shower. Or when you go swimming. I've never heard of swim pants before, ever in my life. That's why they're called swimming trunks or shorts.
This is true.
Because it's summertime. I mean, unless you got some like Chewbacca legs or something you're trying to hide when you go to the pool because you're afraid you're going to like clog the pump filter or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you have them custom made. I don't know.
The whole pantsless thing.
Hey,
Scott. How are you?
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, buddy? I hope you're feeling better since everything. I haven't talked to you in a while. I messaged you and you never messaged me back. I see how you are. Slacker.
Because he messages me back. He actually became an admin in Chaos for me. So that was pretty cool. It was very nice of him to accept the volunteer that I volunteered him for.
What? It's not tobacco legs. It's reflectors, and I'm blind everyone.
Wow.
Chewbacca legs.
Yeah, I look like Casper.
Tobacco legs.
Yeah, I look like Casper, but definitely not Chewbacca's legs.
Good. I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. That sounds brutal. My wife had one of those procedures done, and it was brutal. She said it was downright more painful than childbirth. So obviously, it's got to be.
It's got to be
pretty bad. Boom, exposed. So Giovanni's not wearing pants apparently.
Giovanni probably never wears pants if he doesn't have to.
So what else do you do besides repurposing art for jewelry and stuff like that? Do you have anything else that you do on your sites?
Well, on the Comics and More New Jersey, there are comics, there are some collectibles, a few miscellaneous toys, some cool things that I found. I still have to list. We still have the exclusive covers. The Lilith and Mara by Jason Doobie. Can you see?
Doobie,
so we still have exclusive covers from Comics and More from Jason Doobie to sell. If anyone's interested, you can contact me. I will have them up on the site shortly. I'm still getting through the inventory and organizing everything. I also work with another online store that's more fashion, a Shamrock Boutique, New Jersey. And when I was in a car accident, I couldn't drive for months. So they were kind enough. They have a Shamrock thrift shop. So they started a boutique with me to help list stuff and get things going. So that's been pretty awesome. I list for them and inventory, and I have to get back to that. So I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things after a very chaotic few months. So they have jewelry and fashion, women's mostly stuff. So that keeps me busy. And then I'm a single mom whose son is doing distance learning, and I take care of my 75-year-old mom. So we have a house full. It's busy. It's never a dull moment.
Yeah, one on each end of the spectrum, so I'm sure they keep you on your toes.
Yeah, they do. They do. I love them dearly, but yes, yeah, it's constant something. So I stay busy, and there's never really quiet time, which isn't a bad thing. But a lot of research and listing, and as much social media as I can do, and building that. I have another business that's on hiatus. This is where my background is. My parents were sales reps in the lingerie world, business to business. And when my dad retired from sales, he started a lingerie publication online. And I started working for him in 2004, and I've owned it since 2005. But it's been on hiatus for a couple of years due to personal and health issues, and then COVID. The social media is still really active, though. I have over 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, and over 11,000 on the Facebook page.
So, do you have any plans, like in the near future, of like trying to get that restarted, or are you just kind of basically going to concentrate on comics and more for now and see what happens with the lingerie end?
I'm kind of watching what happens with the lingerie world because of COVID and everything. I wasn't in sales. I had a publication, and when you can't really get to the people, it makes it a lot more difficult. So I took the knowledge that I had there to kind of bring over to the comics world. I like sharing the news. I like seeing a lot of the people get exposure that normally don't get noticed or may get overlooked. So those were who I focused on with the lingerie world. So I'm kind of doing the same thing with comics. And I have to say, I love art. Absolutely love art. I'm keeping the social media going with the McPete for now. There's a lot of crossover with cosplay and lingerie. So I try to share there where I can, since I do have it built in already. Put enough work into that for years, so be ashamed to lose it now.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And there's a lot of I mean, a lot of the cosplay far exceeds lingerie.
Depends on which end you go to. The lingerie world is fun. The Vegas shows and the New York shows are very different. So when I went to the Vegas trade shows for business, it was very different than going to the Blondies. Yeah, they really did. They really took a hit. And the New York shows were complete opposite. So it was different styles, different everything, different vibe. Both are great, but it was just different. Plus, there was also Full Figured Fashion Week, which was plus size lingerie and clothing and fashion. And everything's on hiatus for now. So just kind of waiting to see what happens. But the comics have been definitely fun. I'm learning a lot. I didn't really know much about actual comics besides what I read in the Sunday papers. But art has always been a love of mine. So it's kind of cool to have that a part of my day-to-day life now.
So you've always loved art. What is your favorite painting or piece that's your go-to? If somebody would walk up to you on the street and ask you, what is your favorite piece of art, what would that be?
I don't know if I have a favorite piece. I definitely have different moods. I love the surrealism. I love Dali and Magritte. Magritte is one of my favorite artists. There is a younger artist that came out, and I have to say I love his stuff, and I'm trying to remember his name. I could visualize his paintings. I met his girlfriend in the lingerie world, actually, and then I met him, and he's come a long way. I have to look it up, though.
Thanks, Jack.
They were in, what does he say? Definitely having.
He said, I definitely love having both of you in my life. Thanks, 2020.
Well, at least I met you. I'm meeting some really great people.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about now. Now is a great time to get into the comic world because there's so much. So, Marvel and DC have always kind of left the indies in the shadow. The indies have always done fairly well on their own. But the shutdown really shined a lot of light on the indie creators because the people that were saying, I want art, I want comics, I want to read something, they didn't have that. All their stories and storylines that they read. And it's not just that. There's the other end of the spectrum where you have people that have been following a series since, 30 years ago. And now it's just watered down and they just keep continuing the story and they're beating a dead horse and they want more and they're just not satisfied with it anymore. And they're at the point in their life that they're like, I'm just going to quit reading comics. Well, then COVID hit and Marvel and DC shut down. And then all the indie creators are like, well, you want books? We've got books. And so it really helped spread the word and get the word out. And then people started taking in, the indie books and reading them and going, wow, these are really creative and these are awesome. What else is there out there? So it's a great time to get into it because it's our time to shine and put our stuff out there and let people see that you don't have to be a big name company. You don't have to be a multi-million-dollar company to make a good product. Because the problem with, having a publisher like Marvel or DC, they're going to tell you you're going to do it this way or it doesn't get printed. But in the indie world, you are your own creator. You are your own publisher. You are your own printer. You choose where you want to have it printed at. And you make decisions on every step. Like Alton Sampson with Vampires in New Jersey. He made a great point about being in the indie community. Had he gone to a publisher with his book, he wouldn't be able to say, so he went into a comic book store and they're like, hey, we really like your comics. Our customers really like your comics, but we have customers that want it in a trade paperback. And so Alton's like, okay, I'll print it in a trade paperback. So he goes home after hearing multiple stores say that, and he prints it in a trade paperback and is like, here you go. Here's your trade paperbacks that the customers wanted. And it's great to have that kind of a flexibility because you can cater to your customers and what they're telling you. You get that feedback straight to you. Whereas with Marvel and DC, it's just like, here, you either get it this way or you just don't get it at all. And so it's great to have full creative control. And, I never really appreciated it to that point. And when I had him on, I guess it's been a month ago now because his Kickstarter
launched.
Yeah. And so, and that's a cool thing. You realize so much more about the industry the more people you talk to. And it's not just that. They're always super helpful too. If you ever have any problems or you even mention that you're going to do something, you have 100 people knocking down your door saying, oh, if you need any help or you need any ideas or you need somebody to do this for you, I'm here to help. And it's really great, the support that people have for each other.
That's one of the things that I really loved when I started meeting people is everybody was like, have you met this person? Have you met that person? Let me introduce you. So everybody's been so supportive of each other. And you don't see that in a lot of industries. A lot of industries are very cutthroat. Lady, you don't want to have BBC on DC or Marvel. Awesome. I have trouble reading. I'm reading off the phone.
Oh, no. He said it doesn't have to be PC so much like DC or Marvel, which makes them awesome. Yeah. I mean, you as an indie creator, you can do whatever you want.
Belial is a PC, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, that's the reality. Exactly. You don't have to worry about the kids' ratings and everything else. You're doing your own thing.
It's like when making undies, no one controls in indie undies mind. No holding back. You want Batwing sexy undies? By God, they'll make Batwing sexy undies.
Absolutely. they sell. But yeah, everybody has been really, really cool. It's been great. You know, when I meet somebody, whether it's in person or virtually, they've been like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? You know, what are you looking for? I know somebody who does that. And everybody's always promoting each other and networking each other. And that's huge. You don't see that in a lot of industries. You don't see that.
Well, and it's like some of these brick and mortar comic stores, like the one that you had talked about, that you went in and you talked to them and you said, and they said, hey, you know, if you want to have a table here and sell your wares, you have space here. You know, it's great having that kind of a system where everybody helps each other. And in a way, it helps them, because if somebody comes in that knows that your product's there to buy the product, then they're also able to see the comic book store's wares. So it's kind of like you know, give and take.
Yeah. I promoted it a lot, and it was a lot of fun. You know, because people look at it and they think it's printed, and none of this is printed. It's already, it comes in. Hi, Evanette. It's all damaged stuff. It's either magazines that are going to get recycled, comics that are missing pages or water damaged. I can fix a lot of it if it's a good enough image, as long as it's not, you know, dirty, but I can adjust a lot to be really cool looking. And it's been a little therapeutic. It's the first time that I've done arts and crafts in a really long time. I can't draw. I'm an okay writer. I'm a much better editor. And, you know, but I so appreciate it. So it was kind of fun to create something from somebody else's work and just adjust it a little bit.
And anyway, we got derailed a little bit. So going back a little bit. So my favorite painting, one of my favorite paintings of all time, and it could be on anything. It just draws me in. I love it. And it's probably because, like, I'm a creature of the night, kind of. You know, I've always been into like vampires and werewolves and stuff. And I'm like a night person. I really don't like, I love being outside at night and just like seeing the stars. Like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an astronaut, because I love Star Trek and Star Wars. I was like a space nerd. And so, you know, it's really funny, you know, 20 years later, now I'm writing a space opera novel. And so I'm fulfilling my dreams on paper. But my favorite painting of all is Starry Night by Van Gogh.
That's beautiful.
It just is a beautiful picture. And it's like, it's crazy because it's not really all that detailed. Just like it's a bunch of swirls and some, you know, vague buildings, and it looks like a mess, and you got the stars scattered, but it's just, I don't know, just the way it was made. It's beautiful, and it just draws me in. Like I could see it on a comforter at the store, and I'm just stopping. I'm like, oh, I love this painting so much.
It's a beautiful one, and it's relaxing. I mean, it's one of the things that's calming, and that's
the
what
first
art
thing you
should
think
be.
of when you see it is crickets. You know, you can hear the crickets in your head. You're like,
well, art should give you some kind of emotion, whether it's happy or upset or something, but it should bring you some kind of an emotion. So, yeah, I definitely get I'm loving my feed. I mean, I see all different styles and different characters and stories all in one piece. It's really awesome.
Yeah, they do say that, Jack. Crickets can be yummy. I don't even want to know, Jack. I don't even want to know. The only thing that crickets are good for is listening to and fish bait. Other than that,
my cats eat them. They leave the legs. Crickets, sprickets, and spiders, they eat the bodies and leave the legs. It's really gross.
Hey, Dan, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Dan.
Oh, man, that's awesome, Dan. That would make, oh, man, I would love to see the original of that. I would love it.
Where did you see it, Dan?
Mistake one time. I bought this puzzle at the store. I was like, I love this painting. It's so badass. And then I went to Target, and Target had this Starry Night puzzle, and it was like 5,000 pieces. And it is a beautiful painting, and it's a great idea for a puzzle, not in 5,000 pieces, because, oh my God, all of the blue pastel and the swirls, they all look the same, every freaking piece. I got the border put together. It took me like a week. I'm not even joking. And the wife helped me. So it's not just me. It was 2 people. Like, we got maybe a corner done, and I'm like, screw it, whatever. We'll just put it up. Like, it'll be 2050, and we still won't have this puzzle put together. Like, if we ever finish this puzzle, it is totally getting glued because I'm never attempting to try to put it together again.
Do you have any pets that are going to steal pieces in the meantime?
Oh yeah. I had, at that point, we had 3 cats. We had Charlie, Midnight, and Tiger. And so, no, it was locked in the spare bedroom.
Well, that's good.
It's not spare now. Now that we have 2 kids, they're both taken up. But yeah, we had it on a one of those folding leg card tables in there, and then we would put the pieces back in the bag. Yeah, no, it was only a matter of time before one of the cats snuck in there and started just swatting at it and all the pieces. Yeah, so it got put back in the
steel. Mine's steel. So like the jewelry that I make. Oh yeah, the black one. She steals everything. Maybe too cranky for the cat. I missed it. I used to go to the Met all the time in New York.
Where's that at?
New York City.
Oh yeah, that's way.
80th. It's around 80th Street, New York City. That was actually where I grew up going, was the Met and the Guggenheim in New York. Oh, we used to go multiple times a year, every year. Absolutely love that place.
So even that, I gotta ask, have you ever tried them? I see that you say the Air and Space Museum used to sell crickets, and you say ick. Did you try the crickets? Were you just ick because you just the thought of it? We need a little bit of more information there.
And did you try the chocolate covered ones or the regular ones? Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see it. $49.99, almost done. Wait, where's the last piece? That was what I was afraid of. Like, I've put puzzles together before, and they were missing pieces. And I was like, for the love of God, could you imagine calling a puzzle company and being like, hey, look, I bought this 5,000 piece puzzle. I don't know which piece it is, but we're missing it. And I'll take a picture of it. And them having to look at the picture and count the piece, column 47. And wait, where are we at? Oh, yeah. Just send me a whole nother puzzle. Yeah.
No, I'd be pissed. I'd be really pissed. But my cats would definitely steal as many as possible. What Halloween party? It's Halloween.
He was talking about a Halloween party earlier we weren't invited to. I said I am the party.
There you go.
This week's brains, yeah.
No, I'm...
Oh, wait, here we go. Tried them. They're good. Also waxy maggots. Oh, my God. That just makes my...
No.
All right, Jake. You just get out of here with your crazy food ideas. Like, next it's going to be like, oh, I ate monkey brains because I seen it on Indiana Jones, so I had to try it.
Ew. No. I'm the type that I like, bacon and beef and chicken. Basic things.
So, Jack, I need a little more information on it. So do you mean like a 3D, like a lenticular puzzle, or do you mean like the 3D puzzle, like the buildings that you can build with the foam puzzle pieces? Those are awesome. Have you ever built one of those before, Heather?
I tried. I stopped. I've also had a cat my entire life.
They're really hard, but they're really fun.
I was given one year, and I tried putting it together, and I didn't do so well. And the cat kept jumping into them. And
I can just imagine it. You get this big, huge, like cathedral, mausoleum, or whatever 3D puzzle. You get it all built, and you spend like 3 days looking for the cat, and the cat climbed in there while you were building it, and then you built around it.
Yeah, no. One of my cats, the younger one, she has recently decided to climb on top of the furniture in my bedroom. I have some of the inventory in here, and I'm sorting through with a table. So she decided to use the table to climb on top of the inventory, then climb on top of different things that I can't reach her at, and then she gets stuck. So right when I was getting dressed tonight, she was in a new spot on top of a new dresser, and she was stuck. I was waiting for her to start howling, and do I want to know? They're drinking coffee from beans that came out of some animals. But nice.
Yeah. See, there's a key word in that sentence. There's some people out there that drink coffee from beans that come from some animal's butt. And I seen that, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like this little bitty bag, and it's like uber expensive, and it's supposed to be super good. I don't care. You know what? My Great Value brand Colombian coffee is good enough for me because it has caffeine in it. I don't care. Like, coffee's coffee. Just sometimes. Some of the gas stations you get that coffee, and it's like it's the worst feeling ever. You just spent $3 on a coffee at a gas station.
It's sludge.
And you get it. It's got that burnt taste. Do what?
Sludge. It's like a sludge.
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh, it's terrible. Like, some people never, like, you go in there and then it's like they've never cleaned their coffee maker. It's like 50 years old and you get the coffee out of it. It's got that burnt, like 50-year-old coffee taste to it. And it's like, dang it. I'm going to have to stop at a different gas station and get new coffee.
Absolutely.
The only thing you've done is 3D chess. Wicked fun.
3D chess. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, Dan, that'd be a pain in the ass. When you're looking for that last piece, or you're done building it and you find a piece and you're wondering where it was supposed to go to. Cowboy coffee.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is we found. We found some kind of coffee that it's actually really good. It's Jamaican blue. It's freaking amazing.
I'll check that out.
Huh?
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, here, hold on. I can tell you what it is. Oh, I guess it helps if you can see it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cameras. This stuff is awesome.
I'll check that out. I'm always looking
like I
for
could literally
new.
just sit here and just smell the bag and be like, oh.
I do love the smell of coffee.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. It's always funny too when I put it on because all of a sudden the kids and my wife are like, "Are you making coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah." Do you smell coffee? No, the poltergeist that lives in your closet snuck in the cabinet, got the coffee out, and put water in the coffee maker and is making it for me. It's great. I don't even have to make it anymore.
Do they drink coffee?
I don't know where stuff is. You need to tag them, Lewis.
Tag
Mama.
My son wants to drink coffee, but I give him a hard time. I let him have a sip once in a while in early morning, and then that's it.
I love the flavor of coffee. See, like my wife, she drinks coffee creamer with coffee in it.
That's me.
She's like, I don't know how you drink coffee without coffee creamer. I'm like, I don't know how you drink coffee with that much coffee creamer. Like I can see like adding a little color to it where it's got that cream look to it. But like literally it's like 12 ounces of coffee creamer and 4 ounces of coffee. I'm like, why don't you just drink the creamer? You know?
Because you need a little bit of splash of coffee to make it better.
But that's what's good about this. She doesn't use very much of this because this has such an awesome, like fruity, nutty flavor to it. And it's kind of strong too, but it's not strong enough that you're going to be like, oh my God, this needs something in it. It's really good.
Definitely check that out.
It's weird not having to mess with it. It's all good. You guys can mess with me. So as far as the comic book aspect of the company goes, you said you were going to start listing stuff possibly soon on the Etsy and the Mercari, or?
Well, Mercari already has almost 500 listings as it is. It's been up for a while. And I just have to organize inventory, make sure everything that is on the store is really here, and then start listing more. But I've got probably another 15 short boxes to list. So I've got a ways to go. And then the Macari. I also have some of the jewelry on there, but I put that more on Etsy. 3D chess. Star Trek. Is it? I'll check that out.
Yeah, I've actually had that before. We have this little bitty coffee shop. It's like it looks like one of those. You know how like when the kids have the softball and the baseball tournaments, they got that little bitty snack shack.
Yeah,
that's what the coffee place looks like. It's literally like the size of a oversized telephone booth with like a little window, and you pull up, and it's awesome. You order a coffee from them, and it comes with those little chocolate covered coffee beans. They put 2 or 3 of them on the lid, and they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. You think ick because there's nothing worse than getting a cup of coffee and having coffee grounds in it, and you take a drink and you get that ground.
But I've had those. They're good. They're really good.
Oh, they're awesome. Freaking amazing.
But that's cool. So it's a little mom and pop type place?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually it's a lady that owns it. She owns and runs it. We've got one here in Houston and one in Washington. Yeah, there's one in Pacific where I work at. Like every time we go to Pacific, my wife is with me. She's like, "Oh, Little Ireland." I'm like, "Oh, you suddenly forgot that there's this little coffee shop on the corner." Like it's all you ever talk about is you want to go to Pacific to get a coffee. And now we're driving by it. You realize we're in Pacific and there's the coffee shop. It's hilarious. It happened last week. That's why it's so funny to me because it just freshly happened again. Like, and she was driving. That was the even funnier part. Is she's driving and we pull up. It's a little 4-way intersection right before the railroad tracks and the coffee shops on the corner. And it popped up, I guess 2 years ago. And my work always caters in food. Well, they catered in like these, they were homemade danishes and muffins and donuts and all kinds of these cool cakes. So I brought a couple of them home because they had a whole bunch of them left over from one of their training seminars. And it was the best blueberry muffin I've ever had in my entire life. And she's like, "Where did you get these?" I was like, "Oh, well, work got them from this place called Little Ireland." I was like, "I don't know. I drive past it every day. I seen it popped up, but I never had anything from there." So we went there one time and got coffee. And so like now it's an addiction.
Now she's hooked.
So,
yeah. Now she's hooked.
Yeah. Bad thing is it's like going to Starbucks. It's like $12 for 2 coffees.
Oof. Well, I guess it's, you got to recover when you're a mom and pop.
Family business.
Yeah.
Get out of here, clown. Steph Wilson's too busy drawing circles. Yeah, probably.
Well, he'll be live Thursday
speaking
night.
Of Steph Wilson, I'm going to show it off for everybody again because I'm super excited. He did such a phenomenal job on this. Hold on, I'm scrolling down here. So this.
Nice.
Hold on, let me get rid of Jack's comment. There we go.
I love it.
So I'm super excited for this. I love this. This is great. So I'm gonna shout it out again because I know people come in and out and they probably didn't see it yet Sunday, but this is the art for the fundraiser for when my Kickstarter goes live. So it's the unofficial charity. So once the book funds, this will be available as an add-on. And so speaking of add-ons, so I got granted add-on capability for my Kickstarter. So they have this experimental thing where you can go in, you can select a tier, and then you can click on the add-on and it adds it onto your tier. That's how my Kickstarter will be. It'll no longer be moving forward once they fully implement this. When you do a Kickstarter, you'll be able to do your tiers for your book, and then you can add like the posters, the prints, the t-shirts, and all that stuff in as an add-on, which is totally awesome. They should have did that a long time ago. Because it's a pain in the butt. Like, like for Comic Unity Online Con, you had to go in and up your pledge $20 to get the beer cover. It's nothing against Tom, Wendy, or CB. That's the way you have to do it. Yeah, it's Kickstarter. So they had this thing. I was like an add-on tab on my Kickstarter when I was setting it up, and I'm like, "What is this?" So I clicked on it, and it's like, "This is experimental. In order for you to be able to use this, you have to fill out this questionnaire." So I'm going through the questionnaire. It was like 5 pages, and it was like question after question. And the last thing, it's like, "Tell us why you think you should have this." So I wrote them a nice, 500 word or more sentence, even though it said, keep it to 1 or 2 sentences. I wrote them a book, and I guess they just got tired of reading it, and they were like, whatever, just let this dude do it. So I got
it's probably let's just make this guy go away. Give it to him.
Yeah, well, it's my first time doing a Kickstarter, and this is kind of going back to the indie thing, and with indies and indie creators is, doing stuff to help them out and make it easier. It's totally overwhelming for me thinking about doing the Kickstarter and doing add-on items and having to go through and do the surveys and make sure I get everything correct that everybody got. And that's what I pretty much said. I'm like, it's going to be hard for me to keep track of all the stuff that I'm going to be putting into my Kickstarter. It'd be so much easier for me and for the people backing my project to say, okay, I want to buy the book and the art book, and I want this print, and the charity t-shirt. And that comes up on my end, and it automatically adds it up for them. They don't have to bump their pledge or anything like that. Like if I add it in halfway through the campaign, boom, you click on it, it adds it on, and you're done. And so
that makes it a lot easier.
It's a really cool aspect. I'm really hoping that it's something they're able to implement. So anybody watching, this is something that could be possibly coming down the pipeline permanently for Kickstarters. And it's a great idea because it's overwhelming for both the customer and the people running the Kickstarter. Like, with Wendy, with this Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassin 4, all the pledges and all the add-ons and stuff that she had.
That's a lot.
Or like Jim Noble with what did his book have? Like 72 covers. And I was like,
wow,
how in the heck are you going to keep track of all these? And when I got my backer kit survey, it was all messed up. So like on the main page, it showed the pledge was right, but when you went to the end of the survey, it showed a different book. And I went back to the beginning. I'm like, well, it shows the same here. So I messaged it to Jim, and Jim's like, whatever, I know you. I'll make sure you get your stuff. But I'm like, I know you're not worried about it, but I am. I'm like, this is something I'm going to have to deal with in 2 months. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how chaotic and messy all the surveys and getting all that to try to figure out what the add-ons were if it's not ordered properly in the beginning. But you can't order it properly because Kickstarter didn't have it available to do so. Definitely,
and so it's cool, and I can lay it out. Like I can put everything in there, and then I can be like, this is the stuff I want to go live. Because I've kind of toyed around with it. I haven't added everything in there yet. That's one of the things that I'm working on. Like the Kickstarter setup, the pre-launch page is up. So if anybody wants to get notified about my project for Xeno Nanite Titan, there's a link at the top of my page. Plus, I posted on in Chaos group. But it's nice because I've added the stuff in there, and I can pre-set up the stuff that I want to add in that's stretch goals. So I don't have to wait and be like, okay, we're at 8,000. And then I got to go in and I got to make this. I got to put a graphic in. I can do everything from the start layout. Once I hit this level, it'll go on. It's pretty cool. I'm hoping it works out. We'll see. It might be a bad thing and it's a huge disaster, but whatever. I'm up for the challenge.
Either way, you'll get through it, and it'll be a lot of fun. Everybody checking it out and seeing the things that you're going to have to offer.
Yeah, I've thought about doing some crazy things. Like I've really been thinking outside of the box. Like one of the things I thought would be really cool. Like nobody's ever done it, at least as far as I know. But like that diamond art. You know how you get the art and you got to put the little diamonds and stuff on it. I was like, how cool would it be to do like a limited run of like 10 of those and just put them on there? At a little bit over cost, just to cover the shipping and everything extra for it. Like, that'd be super sweet. And there would only be like 10 people that have it. I don't know. I just thought it was cool. And if people don't buy it, I'll do them and then I'll sell them, whatever.
You never know. And different people like different things and they want different things. So you never know what you can come up with.
Well, and I'm just trying to think outside of the box. You know, I want it to be really cool and spectacular, and I don't know. I want to bring something different to the table. I think it'll be interesting. I missed a whole bunch of comments here. You know, me being long-winded. Whoa, I missed a ton of them.
You want to just read them?
Ed. Oh, hey, Marseille. There we go. I'm back to where I needed to be. Every time somebody comments, it scrolls back down. So I'm trying to scroll up. Hey, Marseille, thanks for joining. And then we got Jake says, a guy walks into an auto parts store and says, I need a gas cap for my Chevy. The guy behind the counter thinks for a second, says, okay, that sounds like a fair trade. Get out of here. You could be hooked on comics like us. I know. What am I going to do with her?
Better coffee.
A funny story. So she went to the copy place here in town, like, I don't know, a month ago, and decides to hit one of the yellow poles in the parking lot with the truck and smash the fender on the driver's side in. And like, she's like, oh, I barely hit it. I get home, it's like smashed in. So she backed out, and when she was turning and backing out, she hit it like that. And I'm like, how fast are you going? Oh, I wasn't going that fast. I'm like, look, like, not going that fast is a scrape. Like, this is totally like smashed in. But it's great. Wow. I don't have to worry about it because every time we get in the vehicle, my kids, both of them, 4 and 5 year old, go, Mom, watch out for the yellow poles.
So you don't even have to bust her balls or do it for you. Yeah. That's awesome.
Love it. I love it. Kids are great. You know, they say some of the damnedest things sometimes.
Yeah. My son is a handful. He'll be 13 in a couple weeks, and we're celebrating all month, so he's having a blast.
I thought Russ was wearing a Chargers hat. I need a bigger screen. What are you watching it on? Jake needs an editor.
That wasn't. What was that?
It says the Secret Origin Comics and More in New Jersey.
Oh, how I started the business? My ex actually was really into comics. I was into art, and after my car accident, kind of needed for me to be able to do something. I was driving Uber on occasion and Lyft and the business, but definitely needed more income. And I was not able to drive for quite a while. So we went to a comic book, you know, one of the big sale things, and had fun digging through comics and finding comics for his collection, some that I might want, and for us to sell. So that's kind of where it started. He was still working full time, so I set up, actually when I was in the hospital, I had to go back in the hospital about a month after my accident, and I was there for 4 days. So I was stuck in a bed in the hospital. I set up all the social media accounts. I have a history with the social media. I'm pretty decent with it, and started listing. We sell some on consignment, and the rest is inventory that I've collected or we bought in bulk and sorted through. Any of the damaged stuff goes into my damage bin, and the rest is kind of history. It's just me now. My ex has moved on to other things, and but I always did the back end stuff. I did all the listings and the photographs, so that really hasn't changed. The thing that has changed is me getting in front of a camera, which is fear. of mine, which I'm trying to push through, and it'll get easier. But the rest of it really hasn't changed much. I'm looking forward to going to cons and meeting people. Adding the group was something I wanted to do a year ago, and it just wasn't a reality. So now I'm doing it. Comics in More New Jersey started in June of 2019. So we've been around for a while.
Yeah, and social media is like a wild animal because it seems like just when you get the grasp of doing things, they change the format around. So, like, now struggling with doing these live videos, I used to be able to start a live video and then hit share next to where the comments were and share it to 10 groups in like 3 seconds, and boom, I'm done. Now I got to go get on my phone and watch it from outside the video, like I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and then hit share from there and then share it to this page. Go back in, share it to this page. So by the time I've shared it to 4 pages, I don't even remember which pages I've shared to. So for all I know, I could have shared it to the same 4 pages.
Or like one that doesn't fit in at all. They like to change things up so that you pay. Everything, they always seem to change the algorithm of how to do it. There's certain basic things that you always do. But when they switched the new Facebook, it really, really killed me.
Yeah, like I've even been getting warnings. So I'm the admin of like 7 groups. And these 7 groups are the ones that I share to on a regular basis. And I have for the last 2 years. Well, now all of a sudden, I share it to 2 of them. And the third one, Facebook is like, we've blocked your share to this page because this could be potential spam. If you disagree with it, hit I disagree. And I'm like, I disagree. Like, I'm the admin of these pages. Why would I be spamming my own pages with spam? I'm like, this makes no sense, Facebook. Come on.
There's a trick around that because you're sharing the same exact link. If you put a couple words and change it up a little bit, you won't get blocked as fast.
Oh, I even tried changing it. It doesn't matter. They're like, nope. You shared it twice.
Too fast then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely has some fun things to learn. All the social media platforms do. And they always change it up because they want you to pay for everything.
Giovanni says, I believe in you. You got it.
Thanks, Giovanni.
Which side of Steph Wilson, the man or the woman side? I guess it just depends on where you met him.
I met Steph Wilson. He came to a small con that I was set up selling the jewelry. My ex had bought some prints from him, and he and Carrie Ann were awesome. They came and visited, and we actually introduced him to Alton that day, Alton Simpson. He was also at the con. It was in Toms River, New Jersey. And they are awesome. It was so great to meet them in person. I'm hoping to see them again before they move, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Rusia Maturska. Whatever. So there's a funny story behind Jack's comment. So the first like real big Comic Unity panel that I did for Comic Unity Con online was for Brian Silverback's and his Kara Prime handbook. Mm-hmm. So we had a premature launch. So he set up his Kickstarter. He got approved for it, and he was trying to share out the pre-launch link so people could hit notify me. And instead, the link that he hit launched his Kickstarter. So like I'm on Facebook at like it's like 11:59 at night, like in the middle of the week. And it's like Brian Silverbacks has gone live. I'm like, what? Like he was saying this was going live next month. I was so confused. And I was like, yeah, whatever, And I went to bed. Well, the next morning I seen a post from him and he's like, well, guys, I guess we're going to roll with it because my project's live. Please help me out and get it shared out because I haven't done any promoting for it. So I'm like, I was like, so I messaged him. I said, hey, what do you think about doing a show on Comic Unity Online Con? I'll do a panel for you on Saturday at, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. I'll try to get some of the guys that did a piece for your book. Because, I think 8 of them I'm friends with, so I'm sure a few of them will say yes. He's like, yeah, I'm cool with it. If you can, let me know. So I messaged Rodney Fike and Sean Forney, Armando Ramirez, Steph Wilson, and Adam Fields, and a couple other ones. Uh, the ones that I just named, they were all like, heck yeah, let's do it. Let's help them out. So I set the con panel up. And so we get on and we get on live, and the looks in Sean and Rodney and Brian's face. And it's so funny because Steph did it, the cover for Brian's book, and they all thought he was a girl.
Yeah, that happened.
They were like, "You're a dude," and that's exactly what Brian Silverback said. He goes, "You're a dude. What the fuck, man?" And
that's
so
funny.
That was the third show that I've been on with Steph that we've gotten that reaction from people. So it's really funny that. So what he means by depends on how you met him. If you met him by watching him on a show, or if you met him just by seeing like his Instagram posts and following him, because the people that follow him on Instagram or on Facebook that don't watch
think he's a woman.
Videos,
oh yeah, they think he's a woman. My ex thought he was a woman, and I was scrolling through and I saw he was live at the trade show that was the day before we were there. So they were in a North Jersey show. I can't remember the name of it. And then we were in the South Jersey one, and I saw him doing his live sale at the show, and I'm like, oh, so that's Steph and that's his wife Carrie. And my ex was like, it's a dude. I'm like, it's a dude. So when we met him, at least I knew what he looked like. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, you figured a name like that, you never know. I can't imagine the messages he gets in his miscellaneous folder, the spam folder.
Well, the funny thing is I think he got messaged from the guy that he was calling out too.
Did he?
So yeah,
I did.
Yeah, I know you did, and I seen your response. That was priceless. That was absolutely classic.
He unfriended me. I can't imagine why.
I don't know why either. That's the weirdest thing ever.
But and I get some interesting messages once in a while, and I really don't get fazed by it. I know how to banter back and forth. I know there's a lot of people that are looking for something that I'm not giving. So when they start getting demanding or anything, I will mess with them because it's entertaining.
Oh, Scott, it was classic.
Right,
and the look on Steph's face was even better because Steph was just as surprised as they were. Because it's like, it's not like they just met and they didn't know who he was. Like, they've worked together. They've done pieces. They see the pieces, and they're like, Steph's a dude? What the fuck?
They never bothered to look at, pictures or profile or any of that other stuff.
Yeah, probably. Each time he gets a picture, he draws 10 more circles.
Probably.
Hey, Phil, thanks for joining.
Hey, Phil. How are you?
I hope you're doing well, man. I hope everything's going okay for you and your family. You've definitely been in my thoughts and prayers, buddy. Just think if you ever booked for a con and they thought a chick was showing up.
That probably happens a lot.
Prime spot at the con because they're like, oh, hey, this chick's coming and she draws all these great pieces with big boobs on them, and they're awesome. Let's put her like at the main entrance. And so it's like Steph rolls up and he's sitting at the table and they're like, hey, you're sitting at Steph Wilson's table. He's like, I am Steph Wilson.
Surprise.
Oh, that's great. Funny. That's too funny. So do you have any plans for going back to talking about you? So do you have any plans for like doing cons, like getting a table to sell your wares at cons with some of your jewelry? Or
we do. I do have a table booked with New Jersey one. It's been pushed back a couple times. So hopefully when the cons open back up, yes, I will be back selling them in person. I always had comic books and the jewelry. Figure people came for one or the other. And it was fun to get to talk to people and see. I like when they're looking at the jewelry and see what they're looking for, because I'm going off of what I see out of the damaged pieces. But I'm also, these are the fans looking for a specific person or a specific look. I mean, some of the people are looking for the vintage look, and some people like the brand new. So it's interesting. They're like, "Well, do you have this or do you have that?" And I got really excited. I found a He-Man Skeletor, and that was kind of cool. I made a dog tag with the Skeletor.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I get excited seeing some of these from my childhood. So it's definitely fun to see some of the images I'm coming across, because they're old comics. A lot of stuff is old stuff. They've been sitting in a garage or an attic somewhere and they're too damaged to do much with, but or they had water damage or something, and I can make something out of them.
Repurpose it, upcycling it.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's kind of cool seeing what comes out of, something that would have been thrown out.
So have you ever thought about branching outside of jewelry and doing like shadow boxes and stuff like that, or?
This is new, but probably I've looked into other options like coasters and letters and other things. I just will need more time, and I don't have it right now.
No, I understand.
When I do,
Yeah,
though, I really enjoyed figuring it out and learning how to do different looks, and what works and what doesn't work. And that was fun. I'd like to do that again. So when I get caught up with my work and my responsibilities, then I definitely want to do some more arts and crafts. And my kid likes to do them too. So he helps me sometimes. And then he takes a lot of the inventory whenever possible. He's like, "But I really like this one," as I see it walking away. I'm like, "And there goes another one." But he uses them, he wears them.
Well, it sucks trying to plan on doing stuff for cons. They're so expensive. I mean, like when we went to Chicago to C2E2, like between the hotel and the food and the con, it was like $1,200 just for 4 days. Because with two small kids, we didn't want to do the con all day Sunday, so we ended up going ahead and we spent the night Sunday instead of driving home, because we live like, I think it's like 4 hours to Chicago from here. And I was like, oh my God. So, and then you got to factor in the table fees. They're not cheap. Because I was thinking about getting a table at C2E2 next year. I was wanting to do a small print run of my book and take it up there and, try to show it off and meet people. Because, that's what's the best part is about doing this. Like, we touched a little bit on earlier is it's about meeting the people. When you go to cons, some of the people that we see online, it's cool to finally get to meet them in person, and instead of just talking. And I can't wait. I really hope that we're able to hit the goal with my book and do the nationwide signing tour, because I can't wait to drive to these guys' houses and just be like, "Hey, what's going on? We finally get to meet in person. I've known you for like 3 years online, and I've never met you in person before."
It's very cool. Like, it was fun to meet some of the artists local here. The Level Up, our LCS, they do Free Comic Book Day, and they do a lot of events. Well, they did. So I met a lot of people there, because they really took over the mall. They do a great job. And then we went to some local cons and got to meet some people. So I'm really looking forward to, hi Wendy, to meeting more people and getting, face to face, because I miss the human interaction. I mean, I've worked from home for years, but I actually got to leave the house and do things and meet new people. And I really miss that. I miss the trade shows in the lingerie world. I miss the cons and the comic world. So there's one in December that, if things go well, I'm hoping to go to. Philip Russert's Suffolk Comic Con. I know I'm not saying that right. That's December 6th. So if all goes well, I'm planning on attending that. I won't have a table. I'll go walk, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, who commented?
Wendy's gonna read the comments. Well, before Wendy raids the comments, always self-promote, hashtag shameless plug, whatever you want to call it. I am going to drop the link for my book,
Yes.
Kickstarter, Xenonanite Titan. It's going to be an awesome book. It's been a 10-year labor of love of mine. Wendy Steen Shaner, that's in the house right now, did a fantabulous piece for it, and I will show it off real quick since she's in here and show her some love. I just got to scroll through all these pictures. Give me just a second. And boom, right there. Look at that.
Nice. I like that.
Sexy. Look at all the explosions in the background. Wendy does phenomenal work. You need some artwork done? Hit her up. But I will drop the link for the book in the comments. Definitely check it out. It's 10-year labor of love. It's going to be a great book. It's going to be a trilogy series to kind of touch base on the origins of how the suit was created and why and how and whatnot. And it'll be a comic book series soon. So definitely hit the button, hit notify me. I'm working on setting up doing like a short synopsis, like basically like the prologue and the first 2 chapters. I'm going to make that public, to kind of give people an idea of how the book reads and lays out. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, explosions, Wendy. I'm telling you, that was a blast. We're going to have to make number 2 just like a massive, just like I said, and just one giant explosion. Like there's like this explosion and all you see is like this much of his face and just the rest of it's just all explosions. It'll be easy for you. He's got to erase a little circle and put his face there. Boom, done. But great to have you in there, Wendy. Super excited that you guys did great with the Comic Unity Online Con. I know who. Wait, what does he say? I know who other than Wendy would have thought to make a gun that shoots 4 projectiles at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I miss the con scene, and that's what's been so fun about being quote unquote guest relations for Wendy and the Comic Unity Online Con is all the fun make believe stories that we make up. Like too much face, just eyes. So we're gonna have this much, Wendy, and it's gonna be all explosions.
Maybe a nose.
That's definitely been the one thing that that's been awesome about doing the online con, like with Wendy, with the Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins back in March when everything was going, or wasn't March? It was we got our stuff in March, so it was like January, end of January, I think. This year's been crazy, but it's what's been a lot of fun is doing these online cons because we missed going to C2E2 this year because they were dumb and did it at the end of February instead of the end of March. And I'm like, there's no way. Like St. Louis weather is crazy. Like literally, like today, it was like 25 degrees outside this morning when I left for work at 3:45. Wow. And at 9 o'clock, it was 70 degrees.
Wow. That's a big difference.
Like, yeah, well, in this spring and the end of, or not the spring, but the end of fall, it was every Friday of every single week. It would be like 70 and 80 degrees all week long. And then like Thursday would cool off a little bit and it'd be like 65. And then Friday it'd be like 28 degrees and we got snow. Like nuts. 5 Fridays in a row that happened. I told my wife, I was like, well, I guess we're going to have snow next Friday again because this is kind of a weird thing. But I was like, I'm sitting there looking at the C2E2 schedule this year. I'm like, are these people high? Like February, the end of February is like the worst time you could possibly plan this because like we don't know when it snows around here. And I've never drove in Chicago before, but when we went last year and it was at the end of March, it was cold as balls there. We had to walk from our hotel to where the convention was held because when we took the bridge from the hotel, we had to like walk through there's 3 buildings there. Well, the con was in the 3rd building on the far side. So we had to take the bridge from the hotel over to the 1 building and then walk all the way up, down, and then back, and then into the con. When we could just walk out of the hotel down the street and go straight into the 3rd building instead of taking the 1.5 mile detour. And it was freezing. So I'm like, there's no way we could do it at the end of February. our kids will be freaking statues, which I mean, I guess that'd be good.
Frankie.
Just leave them up front for decoration. Hey, check out the little mini Hulk decoration.
Just carrying with you.
But so it sucked because we were going to go to C2E2 and we're like, no, we don't know what's going to happen. And then I got sick in January. So then we were like, oh, you know what? We really don't know what's going to happen. And then March hit and we're like, because we had planned to go to Baltimore was one of the ones. And one of the other ones we were thinking about going to was North Carolina.
Nice. Well, you have to let me know if you're heading to Jersey. Meet you and the family.
Well, I will be definitely, if we hit the goal with Zenonanite Titan, book 1, The Fall Before the Rise, and I do the Zenonanite Titan Nation tour. First, I'm going to David Falk because he lives like 2 hours from me. And then I'm cutting over to Miss Wendy. And then I'll be cutting down and then over to Florida to get Eve and Finney the Great. And then I'll be cutting up to Jersey. And, well, I'll be going to North Carolina because Ed. And then I'll be cutting up to Jersey and Pennsylvania to hit the last 3 artists. So I'll definitely be in your neck of the woods.
You know, Steph is going to be up north of, he's moving out of Jersey. So you're going to have to keep going north. Yeah. Steph and Carrie.
That's all right. I'll track him down. Apparently, I'm moving in with him anyway, so I don't even have to travel to go get his signature. So, according to, I went back and watched his live show on Thursday. Apparently, I'm moving in with him. I didn't know anything about this, but
and pantsless.
And pantsless, yeah. Hey, that's the only way to be. And Wendy's still talking about explosions.
Explosions, yes.
Where's Danny D at to talk about the exploding blue balls?
Oof.
Like we have that conversation, and like it's been like every day for the last 2 weeks. It's been brought up. It's hilarious. Does Heather have a link that needs sharing? So yes, if you in the description of this video, Jake, the Comics in More New Jersey Chaos group link is in the description of this video. You should be able to get it now. If not, you can wait until after the video and you can share that out. But definitely share that out on Rome Comics and join it. If you got anything you want to promote, definitely drop it on there. You can promote your cooking show on there. I mean, I had you on here. We did cooking, so why not, right?
Why not? Yeah, and anybody that you enjoy. I mean, if you like somebody's art, share it in. You can add their websites and their social media links in the link drops. It's pretty much an open group. It's public, so it can be found, it can be shared out of, it can be shared into. Definitely hoping it'll grow into a really great resource.
Yeah, it's very true. And yes, Jack, that's also very true. It could be like Southern California where you only get perfect weather or fires. And I so wish that we could do that. But here's the thing. I had 2 young kids, 2 car seats, and there is no way that I'm carrying car seats around at C2E2. Like, that place is humongous. So if I wasn't for the car seats and having to have those, we would have definitely Ubered. But we didn't drive, like, because like literally our hotel was attached to the con, so we could walk everywhere we go. We drove one time. We drove to go see the Great Lake. Because we're like, oh, we got to go check out the lake. And it was only, 3.5 blocks. We almost died like 6 times. Like, it's a 5-lane road. There's 2 left turn lanes, 1 right turn lane, and then there's 2 straight lanes. And you've got this guy in the very right lane making a left-hand turn through all the traffic right in front of you. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is worse than St. Louis, which – I drive in Illinois, and I have to say Illinois has some of the worst drivers, but I
can drive around Jersey. I've driven to Indiana and Philly and into New York, but not city. I won't drive in New York City ever. All right, season 1. You're in Philly. Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes to Philly. I tend to fly out of Philly when I travel. I live right near Atlantic City now. I used to grow up in, I lived in Central Jersey in Monmouth County. I moved down here
Jake,
20 some years ago.
we'll be coming to Pennsylvania because one of the artists lives in Pennsylvania. They live in Lebanon. So I don't know if that's close to you or not. I don't know much about it. Wendy, the exploding blue balls.
That just gives all sorts of bad visuals. I don't know if I want to know.
Well, were you there for the story when Christina was on?
I don't think
like
no.
Oh my gosh!
So
You have to go
me.
back. That show is the most off the road, the rail show like in the history of ever. It was a blast. We had so much fun. So I told the story about how we did this fireworks show. It was for a high school graduation, and we had the mortar tube set up in the sandbox. And something happened. One of the mortars didn't launch out, and it blew up in the sandbox. But it had so much pressure,
wow.
It blew the side of the box out, and all the tubes laid out across the ground. They were all tied together. So once the one had went off, they were all already lit. And so luckily it was pointed away from the crowd, but there was a whole herd of cows out in this field. And all you see are these mortar shells shooting out across the field into the cows. The cows are like running through, and all you see is these huge exploding blue balls, which I mean they're called peonies, but I'm gonna call it that, and everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell's a peony?" Like the literal term for the firework that we were shooting is they were blue peonies, but to everyone else, it's just a big blue ball of sparks. And so, like, funny. You got all these cows running, and no cows were hurt. Don't worry.
Good. That's good.
Limbs blown off or anything, but it was just the funniest thing in the world. You see these cows are just chilling out, and all of a sudden there's just these exploding blue balls everywhere. They're running for their life. And yeah, so ever since that story, like there's been several posts about exploding blue balls. Like
that's too funny.
Earlier this week, there was apparently an animal tried to jump over an electric fence and ended up cauterizing their balls off, and the balls were hanging from the fence.
Oh, that's not good. That's really not good.
So Danny took and photoshopped a blue glow around them, and he put it on their page. I was like, oh my gosh, this is too funny. So it's been the running joke for like 2 weeks now. Wendy has to join live on screen so we can see her lovely reaction again. I don't know if Wendy wants to get on or not. If she wants to, she can. I can send her the link. She may still be dialed up from her video earlier. Let's see. There's no driving. I see people walking go faster than you. That's the truth, pretty much it. Yeah, exactly, Phil. I'm telling you. We did good driving up there because we left here first thing in the morning. So we got up in Chicago around, I want to say it was 1 o'clock because with toddlers, every freaking 45 minutes, I got to pee. And then, of course, we're on the main highway up where Peoria is, and we're cutting around. And so after we hit Peoria, my daughter's like, I got to pee, Dad. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll pull off at the next exit. We went 6 exits, like 15 miles. And each exit, you could see where there used to be a plaque on the big blue sign that there was a gas station at that exit. There isn't anymore. They took the sign down and the gas station was gone. So like we're driving, and my daughter's like, Dad, I gotta pee. And then she was 2 then. And so I'm like, you gotta hold it. I'm like, there's no gas stations, like literally they're all closed. And so it was awesome though. I gotta say I was really happy that we stopped because I bought a $5 scratcher and I won $300. So I was like,
that was nice.
Money.
Good thing she had to pee there.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, we'd have stopped in Peoria. I Lyft an Uber, get a free ride to the airport. Hit me up.
Yeah.
I will for you anytime, just not now. I think that's what I was supposed to say.
I don't blame you, Wendy.
I don't either.
You've been going nonstop.
And Chicago driving no turn signal, go 35 over no headlights at night. Close your eyes and pray.
Do we get all caught up then?
Yeah, I'm all caught up on them now. Sorry, I was scrolling through them. I was making sure I didn't miss a whole bunch of them before I went on. So, do you have any projects or anything that you're interested in working on, or any more exclusive covers that are going to be coming out with comics and more in the future?
I would like to do exclusive covers in the future once I get caught up on everything here. Yes, nothing's in the works yet, but when I am ready to go that route, I will be hitting up some people. But absolutely would like to do exclusive covers. I'm enjoying this industry very much, and everybody I've met in it. I have a lot to learn, and I'm having fun learning. I mean, I'm having fun learning as much as I can, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else I can do in this industry. I really like the group. I like that I can help people kind of help meet each other, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And just kind of enjoying life right now with getting things organized and moving forward. It's been a really rough year, and most of the drama is behind me, and I'm really excited about that. And I see a lot of good things coming in the future.
Look, there's only 2.5 months left of the year. Like, I couldn't be any happier about that. Like, I was joking earlier. I don't even remember what I was in. It was, I don't know when it was. But I was joking about somebody came into one of the live videos and was like, what did I miss? I was like, we invented cold fusion. We're getting ready to travel to 2021 going in with us.
Gotta survive the next couple months.
Doesn't seem like much, but that means there could be a whole lot more this year has ring. I mean, we've already had murder hornets, fires, zombie torn.
Yeah, it's like Jumanji.
I mean, you name it.
We're in level 10 of Jumanji. We got to survive 2 more. You figure the last levels. 10 months has been it felt like 5 years the last 10 months. So hopefully, a couple more months and we're good to go. I'm looking forward to seeing people again and hanging out and being social. I miss that. I miss the bonfires this summer and just seeing my friends, playing Cards Against Humanity, little things.
Yeah, I missed it too. Last year we had a lot of stuff going on, so we usually like to go off-roading. And last year for our anniversary, we went and stayed at Flat Nasty. It's out near Salem, Missouri, and it's secluded, way out in the middle of nowhere. And they have a cabin out there, so we rented the cabin and we took the Razor and the 4-wheeler out there, and we had a weekend off-roading with the kids. It was great. It was the first place we went to that they didn't make you wear helmets and that we could ride at night. So that was freaking cool. Like, it was the first time I've ever used the headlights on the Razor. And so they had this off-road dirt track and we were just tearing it up. And so we were really excited this year to try to go back to we have an old lead mine out in Park Hills, Missouri, and it's awesome. It's huge. It's like 900 acres. And it's all the old tailings of a mine, and it's all off-road riding area. They got like lakes out there you can fish in, you can swim in. There's got a couple of fishing lakes. They got horseback trails, all kinds of stuff. But the off-road riding area is just ginormous. But you can't ride at night there. So we typically try to go there a bunch of times. But that was one thing we missed this year is they closed all the state parks down around here. So there really wasn't anything for us to go do, and the kids are just bored out of their mind. So, like, literally, we went to this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we went to the park here in Union, and we walked around the lake there, and the kids caught Pokemon at the lake.
Hey, whatever works.
The house. And so, of course, toddlers, get this. They've been complaining that they've been cooped up in the house since February, because we pulled Roderick out in February because with his heart issues and stuff, the flu was really bad. Well, we were going to send them the week after Valentine's Day, and the teachers ended up getting the flu then, and they had like 11 more kids out, and a second wave hit. So we're like, all right, we're going to keep you out of school. Well, then, like the first week of March, they shut the schools down around here. So like, well, I guess you're not going back to school at all. So they've been, cooped up. So that's when we did the exploding Mentos and the Coke challenge.
That. Oh.
Well, see that the story behind that, and here we'll show everybody here because I got it on in the overlay. We'll show everybody here what I'm talking about. You're gonna love this. This is hilarious.
That's awesome. Mike. There you go.
There we go. I talked to my wife for like 2 weeks about doing the Coke Mentos challenge. I'm like, we've got to do this. And she's like, oh, I don't know. That's kind of mean. And I'm like, no, we have to do it. And so she went to the store to go get groceries. And I was like, hey, while you're there, pick up Mentos and pick up the Coke. And so we took them outside, and I told the kids that it was going to change colors. And so, of course, Adriana looks straight down in it and takes it straight to the face. And that's all she talked about for like 3 days. She's like, Dad, that was so funny. I want to do that again. So that was our way of getting out of the house, was doing science experiments. So the next week, we decided to do elephant toothpaste. And so we did that. And then we got 4 bottles of Coke and a whole roll of Mentos. And we had Coke Wars out in the backyard.
Oh, wow.
And we did so if you go back and watch that, it's hilarious. Adriana's just spinning around in circles and then falls down, gets back up and starts spinning with the Coke, shooting it everywhere. It was a blast. So, they've been cooped up here for months. So this past weekend, we're like, oh, we'll go to the park and we'll walk around, and then they can play on the playground if nobody else is there and whatnot. And you know what they complained about? They wanted to go home. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Of course.
For the last 6 months, you've complained about wanting to get out of the house. So we go to the park, and now you want to go home. Like, get out of here with that.
We took my son to the drive-in. I've never been to the drive-in down here, and I can't remember ever going. I was so little, and my son's never been. So we went to see, what is he saying, Heather?
He said, I met Heather. She's the sweetest person I know, and she's really down to earth. Love her so much.
Thank you, Giovanni. We still need to get together soon. So Giovanni's awesome. And Giovanni's actually, he is doing some art. So he'll have some projects coming in the future. And I forgot what I was talking about. That didn't take long.
You're talking about your son?
Oh, we went to the drive-in. So that was pretty cool because I don't remember ever going to one. And my son's never been. So we saw Hocus Pocus and Beetlejuice. And it was awesome.
Oh,
it was great to see them up. Yeah, we had a great time. And then we went to a flea market the next day. So I was busy, and then I put out my back the next day after that. So that was last week was a little bit of a slower week. But it was good to get out of the house. It's good to see people. What did he say?
Oh, it is. It's definitely good. Well, I mean, just as humans, we're sociable people, and to be cooped up and all this crazy stuff going on is it's been really hard on people. So, Jack, to answer to this, there is a close-up video. So the video that I showed was the video that my wife took from her phone, and I turned it into a slow-motion video. The actual video that was ran on Facebook Live that's still available on my page. If you go back and look, I think it was March, or it may have been April. If you go back and watch that, my phone was on a different angle and was straight on at them, where she was on the side when she videoed it with her phone. But the Facebook Live video shows it from a great angle. And I mean, you just see her run off and she starts shaking it. So we figured out who's fight or flight. Roderick is gone. Adriana's like, I want to hang out and see what happens next. She literally went over to the table, got another Mentos, and went over and put it in the bottle, expecting that it was going to do it again because it was so awesome the first time. Even though she took it to the face. Roderick, he's all the way down the hill on the other side of the house. Like, screw you guys. This was
that's awesome.
And if you watch the full video, it's hilarious because I'm like, was that fun, guys? And Adriana's like, that's so cool, Daddy. I wanted to do it again. Hint, don't forget, she's the one that took it to the face. Roderick got his shorts wet. That was like the worst of what it got. He got a little bit on his legs and his shorts got wet. He's like, no, not when it's blowing up in your face. I'm like, dude, you didn't even get hit in the face. I don't know. It was something along the lines of that he said. And I was just like, it was hilarious. And Jack wants to know what you thought about the drive-in movies. My take on it, they're awesome. So we have two. We have one in what is the name of that town? Not Poplar Bluff, but whatever. I think it's Potosi. No, it's not Potosi. Whatever the name of that town is, has one. But we have one in Cuba too that has a drive-in, and it's really cool. Like they got it. I don't know how yours is set up, Heather. Ours is set up that you can tune in on the radio in your vehicle and listen to it. But the other one has the old style where you have to pick the speaker up off the pole and hang it on the door handle inside the door and listen to it on the single speaker. And so it's really cool, like old style, genuine, like drive-in.
Ours was the radio. You had to use the radio to tune in, and it has two screens, so there was two options to choose from. But it was Beetlejuice. You can't go wrong with that. And Hocus Pocus is really cute, and my son's never seen it, so he really enjoyed it.
So they have two movies on one screen and two movies on the other screen. Yeah, see, that's how ours is set up too. I think one of the ones I seen was Universal Soldier and The Astronaut's Wife. Was like the very first time I watched a movie at the drive-in. It was Astronaut's Wife with I think it was Charlize Theron. And
okay, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, that's like super long time ago. That was like 2090. It was like 98, 99, 2000.
Wow.
But yeah, that was the first time I actually had the drive-in experience, and that was when we had the little speaker, and so you're like holding it, trying to figure out what everybody's saying. And so the other one we went to was really cool that you could tune into the car because the one we watched had tons of explosions, and I had a subwoofer in my car. So every time it would explode, like the whole freaking drive-in could hear my subwoofer with the explosions. Cool. It was awesome. It was like surround sound gaming in your car. It was great.
That's pretty cool. It was nice to be able to turn up to hear and then turn down when it got really loud. So it was a really fun night. We had a great time, and definitely want to go back. We need to see what other movies are going to be on.
Yeah, Dan, I've been working too, unfortunately. The only reason I was cooped up is I was on medical leave because of the whole thing with them thinking that I had cancer and all that. And then I went back to work, and then somebody hit me on my way home, and I missed another 3 weeks. But yeah, I've been working too, and I drive over the road, so I'm out and about all over the place. Like yesterday, I think I drove like 380 miles. I went all over freaking place. But so yeah, no, unfortunately I haven't. Well, fortunately I haven't been cooped up, but my kids are going insane. And then of course you take them out and they're like, I want to go home. I'm like, I could strangle you right now. No, not really. Just kidding.
Yeah, I get that. I absolutely get that. My son he'll be 13, and he is my mini-me. I mean, he is a lot like me, which is a little scary. I'm proud and scared at the same time.
Right?
We get along most of the time. He catches an attitude, and I kind of give him a look, and I'm like, really? You don't want to do this. Either way, you're going to have to do what I told you to do. So you can either get an attitude and get grounded and still do it, or you could just do it and stop complaining. And normally he's like, yeah, you're right. But he's doing pretty good. He's doing great in school, even with the distance learning. He's very smart. I'm very lucky. But he's a good kid. He talks more than I do, which is pretty impressive. And he's very social. He is the type that likes to get in front of the camera. He loves to be the center of attention, get up on stage. He eats that up. He's such a ham. And I'm the one who's like, no, I cannot. I'll skip being in front of the camera. My son even said, he goes, Mom, I can get on the camera with you and I can introduce you and make you comfortable. I'm like, awesome. Thanks.
So then you said, okay, well, instead of introducing me, you can just get on the camera and I'll give you the stuff that you need to put up and it's all yours.
He would.
Is he into comic books at all?
He is. He loves comics. It's funny. I asked someone that said, what's his favorite? And I asked him, he looked at me, he's like, he goes Deadpool. He got into Deadpool. He's got Deadpool costumes. And my ex was really kind to give him all the old Deadpool stuff. And my son's been dressing up as Deadpool for, I think this is going to be his third Halloween in Deadpool. But he's like, well, I really like the Avengers and I like Iron Man and I like Batman and I like they're all cool. I'm like, okay. And he's met some. He came with us to a Redunculous event. They are based out of Atlantic City. They have comic books and they have this really cool fashion launch and podcast and video interviews and stuff. And he had a blast meeting everybody. They're great people. So he became a fan like right away. So he's really into, he likes the indies. I just have to be careful that it's appropriate. The cursing he grew up with his dad, so it's not that big of a deal. It's the other stuff. I know he's 13.
Totally Rad Comics, right?
Yeah, no, the Totally Rad Comics. He's 13. He knows he doesn't have a filter. He's a lot like me. If he has a question, he just comes to me and asks. And we have very open communication about pretty much everything. So he just walks up to me and says, "So, Mom," and he'll make a comment. And I'm thinking, oh, we're going to have this type of conversation tonight. And he'll just ask all the questions. When he's done, he's like, I think, yeah, like, do you need anything else? I'm thinking, oh, please say no. He's like, no, I'm done. But he knows I'd rather you come ask me than go Google it. So I just have to be careful. He's been watching all sorts of shows that he probably should not, like South Park and Rick and Morty over at his dad's. So I'm just like, well, he's 13. There's only so much I can censor at this point. I just really hope he doesn't repeat it all at school. I was like, you can't say these things when you're at school. You can't say these things when you're out of the house. But he's a good kid. He's really smart. He's really funny. Really funny.
Well, see, we all know how that works out. When we were kids, and it was like, okay, this is the stuff you don't do, but we all did it anyway. When the teachers weren't looking, just because we wanted to fit in with everybody else, because that was the stuff they watched and that was the stuff they talked about. So that's normal, just to sneak those shows. It could be worse. You could be watching like Spartacus on Stars, where there's like all kinds of.
Yeah. Well, he gives me a hard time because I have his Netflix set to kids. And he's like, why? I said, because I want to know what show you're switching it to before you switch it. I started watching some Rick and Morty with my nephew. I have to go back and watch more. I liked Brickleberry a lot.
My 3-year-old watches zombies with me from Netflix, and I'm the one with the nightmares.
That's funny. My son can watch scary. I can't do scary for too much. Certain things I can watch, but my son likes the scary stuff, and I'm like, I'll pass on that. I get nightmares. He doesn't.
A lot of the scary movies don't bother me. The horror movies. My wife, like, she'll squeeze my leg off. Like, something will happen, and she'll reach over and grab my leg, and I'm like, how is that going to save you? Like, if we were going to get hurt, I would get killed too, because you're like holding on to my leg. Like, it's like that, what was the name of that movie, Without a Paddle, where these like, why are you, why are you taking your shoes off? He's like, or why? I don't have to outrun you. I just, or I don't have to outrun the bear. I have to outrun you. But yeah, she gets totally flipped out. But I have to say, the only movie that's ever really bothered me, and it's just because of how creepy and the way the movie set up, was Insidious, and with that demon in the corner up in the ceiling.
I haven't seen that. I have not seen that. I don't know if I can watch that.
Yeah, I doubt you could. Insidious is pretty crazy. And then they made like 2, and then I just kept watching them, even though I was creeped out because I love it.
Yeah, I can't watch the paranormal stuff.
Dan goes on to say Rick and Morty is hilarious. Brickleberry is great as well. If you like that, watch Paradise PD. It is from the same creators and takes place in the same universe. There was even a crossover episode.
Oh, I'll check that out. I love Brickleberry, so
Captain I don't know if I've seen all the seasons. You're going down with her.
Well, it makes her feel better if she's squeezing, all the blood out of your leg.
Well, I just cover my eyes. Here's the funny thing. I'm really good. Oh, yeah, for real. Insidious got me good, too. And The Red Door. Yeah, man, The Red Door. I'm telling you, Heather, don't ever watch it. It's a great movie. But if you don't like scary movies, like, I love scary movies, and I watch a ton of them. My wife won't watch most of them with me because she just gets so creeped out. And because what I was getting ready to say is I'm really mean. So I'm really good at knowing when the movie starts getting real suspenseful. And I watch her, and I wait for that moment where she's like totally dedicated and locked in, and she's focused on the movie. And I'll be like, and she jumps like 10 feet. It's hilarious. I do it all the time.
You?
No, she doesn't smack. Like, you're such a dickhead.
That's funny. Yeah, I would smack. Absolutely.
Horror movies do not bother me at all. Been on both sides of the screen. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. So horror movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that, where people are getting cut up with like a chainsaw and there's blood and guts flying everywhere and, stuff like that. I can watch that and I have no problem with it. But then my wife will turn on Trauma, Life in the ER, and I'm about ready to just like pass out watching all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't like the blood and guts type of thing. The violence doesn't bother me. Like John Wick, I was laughing during John Wick.
John Wick was awesome.
It's awesome. And I was in the movie theater, we were laughing, and the woman that was sitting next to us was like horrified at all the violence, and I'm dying because it's hysterical, but it's violent, but not so gory.
Have you ever seen this movie that Jack is talking about, Event Horizon?
I have not.
It's got the guy that plays Dr. Grant on Jurassic Park. I cannot think of his name.
Okay, I can picture him. I'm bad with names.
Yeah, it's the guy that plays the main character in Jurassic Park. That goes there with his kids. I cannot think of his name. So somebody help me out.
It's okay.
But anyway, Event Horizon is an awesome concept. So the concept is they have this ship, and the ship has a new type of warp drive, if you want to call it a warp drive. So it opens up a portal that is able to transport it to the opposite end of the galaxy, and it comes out of the portal. Well, there's only one problem. The portal takes them through hell. So the ship goes through the portal and comes back, and they have no communications with the ship whatsoever. Like nobody answers or anything. So they send this rescue crew. And so they get on board the ship and they power the ship up, and they think, Sam Neill, thank you. They power the ship up, and they're thinking everything's all good. Yeah, the ship is haunted as hell, like big time haunted. And so like it just it's crazy. It's a great movie.
So that's not something I want to watch right before I go to bed, considering I sleep alone.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Like they're crawling through like the ducts in the ship, and
I think I'll wait on that for a little while.
So on Huntsville, Alabama, there's a horror place. If you spend 12 hours in torture, you get $20,000. You have to get a physical, sign a 40-page waiver, have insurance, and get a test. They do some messed up crap to you. It's insane. I want to try it.
Oh no, no. Go live, go Facebook Live when you're there, so we all can like experience it with you without actually having to be there. That I can do.
So Jack says, I think it's Sam Nelson. Is it Sam Neill or Sam Nelson? I don't know. Here, I'll look it up. Well, that's what the Googles is for. See, this is the greatest invention ever. When we were kids,
yeah.
we couldn't just Google whatever we wanted to. We had to sit on it and think for a while. So Event Horizon.
I had to find a dictionary.
See, Lawrence Fishburne. It's Sam Neill. It's Sam Neill, Jack. And Jack said, the fact that you don't like the horror movies, I would never watch that movie. It'll freak you out even if you watch it during the day. So anyway, so that place that you're talking about, Jake, I actually looked it up and looked into it. They're allowed to like cut you and do all kinds of stuff. Like there's no way you would do it. Like they said that there's the possibility that you may lose. They may cut your fingers off or pull your fingernails off of your hand. Like we're talking, it's brutal. Like you hear it and you go, oh, you get 20,000. That's cool. When you sign that consent form, you're basically telling them that you're cool with the fact that you may come out with 8 fingers and 5 toes, or you may not even have a foot.
No.
Oh, waterboarding would be the least of your concern. Look it up and actually look it up and read it. It's way worse than what you could ever imagine. There's like an 8-page thing of all the stuff that they will and possibly can do to you. And there's stuff that I can't even say that's like absolutely horrid. Like if you do that, there's something wrong with you. I'll just put it that way. There is no way 20,000 is ever worth even losing a finger. He got a pipe wrench shoved in his mouth. I seen those videos. Yeah.
I can't imagine why people do that and why they want to do it. But I guess everyone likes their own things.
I'm just saying, not me, man. There's
no.
Like if there's a possibility I'm going to come out and I'm going to be walking around like this for the rest of my life, there better be like more zeros on the end of that 20K. And then I'm still probably not going to do it. Yeah, I agree with Giovanni. That is it's absolutely brutal. Like there's like we're talking like penetration in areas that should be exit only things that are listed in there that might be done to you while you're in there. So that's worth 20K to you. I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all. If you make it through all the stuff that they say they're going to do to you, you definitely deserve the $20,000.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I heard about it like through kind of what Jake bringing it up. I heard about it on somebody's video they were talking about. I was like, there's no way something like that really exists. So I looked it up. 20K for surviving a haunted house, and it took me straight to the page. And so it's like, here's the consent form. Make sure you read this over before you think about coming here. And here's the list of things that we may do to you. And I read through it, and I went through all the pages, and I'm just like, you got to be pretty messed up to want to do this, but you got to be really messed up to even come up with this idea.
Yeah, that's crazier. I mean, and put it all into motion and
Booty Warriors. Booty Warriors. Yeah, for sure. Some people pay extra for that. Hey, man, whatever floats your boat. There you go, people. McCammyManor.com. So if you want to go look at how messed up some people are, go check out that website. I guarantee you it's a treat to read through of all the things that you never would imagine in your own mind that somebody came up with and put on paper, just in case they decided they wanted to do it to you while you were there.
Yeah, that's not my kink. I'm good. I'll pass on that.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, it's interesting the things that people come up with, and that they do.
It's definitely very crazy.
And they like it. So yeah, definitely not my kink.
Hey, everybody has their own quirks.
Absolutely.
Plungers, The Art of the Scare. You can watch it on Netflix. Excuse me. Well, I guess we better start wrapping up. We've been live for 2 hours.
Wow,
So,
I survived 2 hours. I'm pretty proud of myself.
yeah, you survived 2 hours. You
Thank
did
you.
great. We talked about a lot of cool
Thank
stuff.
you.
We had some great stories. We had fun, and we had an awesome crowd in here. Thanks so much, guys, for watching tonight. It was great to have you on, Heather. I'm really excited about the Comic Chaos group. I hope things continue to roll the way they are. Hopefully, in a few
Thank
months,
you.
you'll have a couple thousand people on there. It's definitely
I'm
a great
hoping.
thing, definitely a great avenue. It's something that we need right now. Without the cons, we have all these creators and these creatives that usually buy a table, and they get you just by you walking by and seeing their banner. And now
Right.
they're like, I'm at home and I'm sitting on 500 books that I ordered in January because I didn't know there was going to be a shutdown. And so it's really great, the things that people like us do to try to help put this out there. So I really hope it's successful and takes off.
Me
Giovanni
too.
says he's proud of you. And it's
Thank
nice to
you.
meet you too, Giovanni. If you want to send me a friend request, feel free to. Um, but yeah, I wish the best for your group, and I hope it takes off. And I really look forward to seeing some of the jewelry that you get together.
Yeah, I will be getting more stuff up. I haven't even posted my own links in the group yet. I wanted to get it up for everybody else first, and I figured I'd worry about my own stuff after. So I'm happy, and I'm glad people can sell their books in there, do the live sales, do claim posts. Just stay respectful, no drama, and promote yourself and other
And
people.
this right here. Everyone support everyone, even if it's not money. A share, a like, or a hello helps so much. And that's true. Just stopping in and chatting and having people in there, it makes it more interesting, and people are going to stop by and be like, oh, there's 15 people watching the show right now. What are they talking about? And then they come in and you never know. It might be right up their alley. And you like and share. That's a big thing. Facebook algorithms are getting really strict and really tight. If you guys are scrolling by something that Heather posts or something that I post, or if I post my project, give it a like. Help it to be pushed up to the top. Because I'm going to tell you, like, there's times where I don't even see Steph Wilson. He posts 80 times a day. I don't see anything all day, and I'm like, what in the world's going on? And so I'll look at his page, and then for the rest of the next 3 days, that's all I see are stuff posts. But definitely liking stuff. If you guys are scrolling through and you see something that looks cool, or that you don't have the money to support it, but you want to help it out, give it a share. You sharing that could get 3 people that will back that project and help it fund. Because this is what it's all about. We've got people out here like Heather, who has this jewelry business, that has this comic business. We want her to be successful and to benefit from it and be able to sustain herself. And it's just like people like me, creators that have books or comic books. We want to be successful, and we want to be able to take care of our families. And right now, the way to do that is to go online and share your stuff and have people share it and like it and get it out there. So we definitely appreciate each one of you doing that.
And you can always share anything into chaos. I mean, if you see something you like and you think it looks cool, share it into the chaos group so other people can get a look too. And that's kind of why I wanted that. I was flooding my feed with my own thread with everybody else's stuff. I'm like, I'm going to start getting unfriended by people or blocked. So that was one of the other things. It gave me a place that I could share all the things that I come across that I really enjoy seeing.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I started the Russ Explode Studios group, was because I wanted my own author page to keep the stuff separate. Because that's the worst thing. You start posting about your stuff and people start thinking, oh, they're being really pushy about their stuff. And it's like, no, I'm trying to share my stuff out there. So I totally agree with that, making a separate page, because you got people, then they hide your post, and then they never see anything from you ever again. and it sucks.
It does.
Well, if you want to give everybody a shout out where they can find you.
You can find me at Heather Ellen on Facebook, or Comics and More NJ, or Comics and More Chaos. I'm pretty much all over. I'm in a bunch of groups, and message anytime. The email is comicsandmorenj@gmail.com. And I will drop the links at the bottom after we're off here of where you can find me. And thank you so much, Russell, for having me. And thanks, everybody, for popping in. I really appreciate all the support.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. I'm getting ready to drop the link in the feed now.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So here is the link to the group. If anybody that is watching and is not part of Comics and More Chaos, that is where you can go and find Heather. So, Heather, if you want to hang out in the green room for a second, I will be back shortly.
Cool. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Had a great show tonight. Talked about some fun stories. Had a great show. It was great having all you here. Giovanni, Dan, everyone else. I really appreciate you coming. Scott, Jake, and Jack. The other Dan. There's 2 Dans. I appreciate you guys a lot. It means a lot to me that you guys come in here and you watch the show and you share it out. We appreciate you a lot. I'm really excited about the book. Anybody that wasn't in here before, I want to show it off again. Steph Wilson did a great job doing the art for the charity. So Comic Books for Kids. It's a charity I feel strongly about. If you don't know anything about it, I'll do a quick rundown. They send comic books to kids in the hospital that have cancer centers, stuff like that. They have an illness. They may not ever get to go home again. It's a great thing that he does. It's 100% of the proceeds goes towards mailing these books. They have Image, Dark Horse, IDW, a lot of big publishers that send them books to send to these hospitals, but he still has to pay shipping. And we know how much it is to ship comic books. One box going to a hospital for him is anywhere from $80 to $150. So everything that you guys send to them, 100% of the proceeds goes towards the kids. I'm an advocate for it because my son's had open heart surgeries. I see the way the kids light up when they bring a dollar toy from Dollar Tree in, or a coloring book, or just something cheap for the kids to take their mind off, because it doesn't just help the kids, it helps the parents. This year's been really bad because with COVID, if your kid has it, you're not allowed to be at the hospital. So these kids are at the hospital by themselves. The comic book could be the one thing that gets them through it. And I think it's a great thing that they do. And not only that, but it's sustaining our industry. It's a great idea because kids are the ones we need to get interested in comic books. And so these kids in the hospital, when they get home, may ask their parents, hey, I really like these comic books. So it's kind of a double-edged thing. You're not only helping the kids, but you're helping bring more kids into the industry. So it's a great thing all around. So I really appreciate Steph doing this for me. It turned out great. And I look forward to bringing that to you guys on the Kickstarter for Xeno Nanite Titan. Stay tuned for more. We'll have some more great shows. As always, Russ Explode Studios, projects that'll blow your mind. You guys have a great night.